This Will-Being Philosophy Minutes is dedicated to my Renaissance matron, Jane. Okay. Spent 56.56. There's receipts for that. Was I going to make the final days of my 55th year? I wasn't, not without you. That is a skill worth having you live as many, many, many more decades as you want. And I can make it happen, and you know it. Where's the resistance? What's the wall? Where is it? How many of the future evolvers can you personally give? What you're giving is the ability to let me manage my own. I don't like words like I am in trauma. You're helping me in every way stay present that I have a big destiny. Here's what's going on with autism. We just proved it this week. Nobody else would have let that verbalized meltdown. They'd have ghosted me. Now, I would have liked to not be reacted to. But if I have said it's not going to happen again. It needed to happen. It's part of the men with guns and waking in anaphylactic shock, right? This can't happen ever again. That's why we're going to get into a groove and a flow. And again, we can set the timer. You tell me 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Let's hear ourselves, set a boundary, and experience somebody like absolutely. Okay? Because just a little bit of flow with me, nobody else is capable of being my Watson. You never said that to me. You were trying to hurt me. You don't have to be Watson for like all the books and all of this, but you could be for a very important article that you can write, that we can find the right place to share it. The HC people's in my shit list. Why don't I ever get any help? Everyone reads my energy and says, girl, you are far better off than I am. That's the final answer. There's many dimensions. We've talked about what's going wrong here, but the answer has to be time and time again, which you just role played with me exquisitely. Is, don't you understand, Zenzi? I got it really bad. Well, but don't you understand, Jane? I'm dying. And if you help me not die, I will help you not have it so bad. It's a very win-win-win. And even the people, and they're extraordinary people like you, I don't get any negative feedback. I get no feedback. And really, like, people are like, you exist. People let them, and then they ghost me. As if this is a very expensive skill to develop. Decades of not letting the US of hypocrisy tell me what's going on in my own mind. I know my own mind. when I'm stating things about my own mind that are extraordinary or odd or eccentric, because they are. This is literally what I'm saying. I don't think there's ever been me. And it just brand new. Autism. Elder savant skills. This is so newsworthy. There's nothing about me that's not newsworthy. I know how to go. No, I'm not going to die. Yes, that's too much to handle, but I'm not going to die. How you deal with the assaults of plantation capitalism and in Black humans, cultural appreciation. It's only simply because I don't see myself as any way different than Black humans. So I can learn from them. I go to them, the ancestors, and my current peoples, and the nextestors. And I go, oh. You just gotta keep being in your mind the humanist that you could be. You excel yourself. You say, my life is never going to be out of chains, but I will work for my kids. I can't move. I couldn't leave my house for a decade. No, I didn't have. No, none of y'all's psychology is right. There is really a very big problem in the years where, how am I not going to not get diagnosed crazy? Last people in the world you can take on is psychology. Oh, I got him. Don't worry. I got this. But I got to start being able to do my work. It's got to not just be blah. It's got to not be in response to what I need to do to not be traumatized, right? Because I'm advanced in Socratic improv. I'm advanced in consciousness. I'm advanced in racial harmony. I live in a different world. I expect you say something, I make a case, a logical case, that we are going to extinct this species in less than 5 years. And remember, it used to be 30. Y'all don't know how to act in voting booths. Not that side that should have won is really who should have won. I don't know nothing about fixing privileged democracy. I know everything about keeping saying one thing. And this is worth $1 trillion. I could beat Elon, and I can. But let me partner with Sir Richard Branson. Redheaded, neurocomplex folks need to hang together. I think the only way to stay alive is if y'all airlift me to fucking Necker Island. Always. This is a skill. This is how you stay alive. I can't. People are stinking. I'm away from everyone, and the guy comes within social distancing and starts to smoke in front of me, wind blowing. Day after day, and then there's jackhammers going, and then there's this. My hypersensitive acuity is a function of my extracellular matrix going awry in the way that who I'm trying to have to be my philosophical mentor, matron, anthropological Watson. Just help me define the role. We're just writing the job description, you and I, Jane. This has been good. Yeah. Hypermobile joints and now hypermobile lymph. It's not hypermobile, isn't the exact right term. Hyper producing, but I think I'm just clearing the horrors, the inorganic horrors of the poisonous food that was all I could get at the food bank. And I went out, and what I ended up eating was %1 of what they had. Go ask any of them. I was like, no, don't. Like I physically can't even have somebody say words of certain foods. This is very much more intense than it was for most of my life, but it's still pretty intense. I can't tell you the thing that you can't tell me because I can't even just smell it. Man, what the hell is mayonnaise? It's real. If I feel that about mayonnaise, you got to get my point about what I was saying earlier is that I don't think any of the rest of y'all feel. And what would cause that? See. So once again, I'm not saying it. We're not playing the judging the psychology game. We go one more. What would cause somebody to simply freak out at mayonnaise? And I filmed with Zanzi, where pillow was causing her intense anger, anguish. You have to have a theory of consciousness. You have to have a theory of quantum physiology. And it's quite obvious. It's the same thing through different lived experiences that produce different bodies. Genetics needs to be debunked. I have a famous audio out there about debunking gravity. Now I'm debunking genetics. It's the ether of the body. It's the ether in the universe that is our soul. It's the whole emptiness, impermanence. I'm so pleased to have direct access to a Tibetan mind. This is why it's so hard for me that the civilizational, societal stuff is collapsing around me. I should be focusing on what I've learned from Rinpoche in 5 meditations and 5 chanting sessions. And I want to propose to him that we do a Socratic dialogue on the difference between Western and Eastern minds. He's really smart. And I hear his students, lovely people, this is not judging, I'm talking this through, I'm explaining something really important. I hear them lovingly praising him and experiencing a lot of loving kindness, care for the people in the Sangha. But then it's like they spew out all of this non-loving kindness inside themselves. They can't offer themselves loving kindness. Is that our only difference? The explicit, the meditation of the doing it, okay? Right? Let's say you've got, merely like 6% of that self-judgy, of that back, but you can work and it can go away. Or you can have a Kundalini awakening. Triangle. So everyone else does it. Diet, exercise, willpower. My triangle. Cannabis, ecstatic trance dance, and tuning forks. I got to get to the dance. You've given me enough to just Hail Mary it. I don't know if I'm well enough. We'll see. The chicken and the potatoes that cost exactly $6.56, and I got $50 cash for medicine. $56.56. Is my subconscious really able to make that happen? It's affecting random number generators. Receipts, 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 nothing but receipts. And turning this on into trance, from I turned this video on to now, I feel it. There is an embodied, pleasurable energy of I don't like any of the spiritual terms because, there's just so much misunderstanding. And it's doing everyone so much harm. Just having me out there like lining things up. You don't have to necessarily even ever believe the future way I pulled it together. But almost no one will not enjoy understanding how I highlight the conundrums. We're saying one thing and we're saying another thing, and they both can't be right. And we're constantly doing that. CUS of hypocrisy is a real term. All right, so literally, the people behind me, I didn't hear the alarm. Did you? No, but I felt hear the engine turn on. Exact moment, there went my trance, and I am really. Explain to me all this focus on PTSD, and it's important. Please don't stop anyone. But can we start getting some people to focus on CCTSD? Current, chronic, which is all ETSD, environmental trauma, stress disorder. This is what we're pitching to give the insiders privilege to. This is important information for Gabor Mate to have. To start thinking about everything in the terms of the current brain science, and in terms of looking at my face and seeing the mobility that I've returned to my face in my 55th year. Fountain of youth. Words matter. Our indigenous ancestors had some visual signs of age, but they just kept doing their life until moments, hours, at the most days. All of this chronic disease in the U.S. of hypocrisy is based on our civilizational lifestyle being non-scientific. We made science a religion, but nobody's fixing the world, the civilization. You are a criminal until proven rich. It's the reality of the majority of people in this nation. Got to let me say these things. By which I mean, part of what is hard on me is, and I do need the real world perspective, but look, to stop with all this just keeping me alive. We've got to find some way for me to do my work, and everything is fixed. Back to Gabor and Daniel. Harmony. Zen.